While the Biden administration shields its own, it also targets regular Americans it dislikes. Gun owners with its unconstitutional ATF rules, parents at school board meetings labeled as threats by the FBI, and censorship of inconvenient information. This brings us here today. Congress, performing its oversight duties, has been ignored. Founders established a system of checks and balances, and that has been dismissed. Congress and the American people we represent have been disrespected, so we are here to say no more.
Send that man to prison right now. Welcome back to MikeRock Uncensored. If you guys are enjoying the content, please do me a huge favor. Hit the like, subscribe, and follow button so that you can receive all the latest videos and updates as soon as I make them available to you. MikeRock Garland should have been in prison a long time ago. Jail him, Ray, Mayorkas, President Biden, Bin Laden, same thing. This administration is so far gone. The only thing we can do right now is vote for Trump. And, and I know you guys don't like, a lot of you don't like that idea. You're so concerned. The government actually has you so concerned with minor issues, minor breadcrumbs, like, and I know you guys aren't going to want to agree, oh my God, it's women's rights, but abortion. But you have to ask yourself, I'm not saying that women's rights aren't important at all. I'm not saying that the issue of abortion isn't something we need to talk about. But it should not be enough of an issue that we are willing to destroy this entire country just because we can't have our way. MikeRock Garland is refusing to give us access to information, an audio tape that we by law are entitled to. The Democrats have done so much dirt in this country right now that they are now at that point to where they can no longer lie to the people or get away with anything else because we don't trust them. And whether you like Trump or not, whether he's guilty of some of the things that they are accusing him of or not, you have to take into consideration why they are doing what they are doing to this man, because they would rather expose him and keep him running for office than to allow him to get into office and suffer the consequences for everything that they have done, both to us as a people and to him in particular. I don't know why, I really believe that this thing with Trump was an all or nothing. It was a Hail Mary. We have to do everything in our power to keep that man running from office because he refuses to be one of us. I really believe that his first campaign that they tried, and I think that if we had this discussion with Trump, that he would actually be willing to admit that something was there that we don't see. And I'm just guessing. This is just my opinion, but I believe that they went out of their way in that first campaign after he won and tried to recruit him, tried to see if he would become one of them. They reserved judgment just long enough to see if he was willing to comply. And he wasn't. And so they decided right then and there, if you're not for us, you're against us. And so that's when the doo-doo hit the fan. And ever since then, they have spent every last dime and resource they have to make us believe, and they've done a really, really good job at it, of making us believe that Trump is worse than them. It's really hard for you to get an accurate picture of what's going on in our government when they are actually censoring information. Here's the thing about, I don't know if you guys heard about this. We'll do it in another video, but there was this thing that just happened with the Supreme Court where they rejected a claim regarding censorship in the social media. And it favored the Democratic Party. And now all of a sudden they're on the news and everything else saying that, basically censorship is okay. The Supreme Court says that we are allowed to censor social media to keep people from spewing disinformation. But here's the thing that they just did. They also just admitted to you, the people, that censorship did take place. For the longest time, they lied through their teeth, saying that's not what's going on. This never happened. They're lying. But now that the Supreme Court has ruled, in fact, the Supreme Court didn't rule that they are allowed to censor the information. But they did reject the claim because they were saying that the wrong people basically brought that claim. They weren't authorized to make this claim, to bring this case before the court. So now they basically have to start over and find the right people to state their case. That's all that happened in the Supreme Court. But they took that upon themselves to freely come out and tell you that we've been lying to you guys this whole time. We were censoring people on social media. And that is in direct I understand social medias have the power to do whatever they want. But when it comes to the government, that is in direct violation of our freedom of speech and freedom of expression. If social media wants to keep us from sharing certain information, that's their prerogative. It's not the government's prerogative to say what is or isn't allowed for social media platforms to put on their platforms. That's a completely different story. But what also is really sad is that you got Democrats and liberals out there that are completely satisfied with the ability to censor information because they feel that they're on the right side of the law. But what happens when you're not? What happens when the Democrats, and I think this is a game anyway. I don't think the Democrats agree with half of the political agendas that they're pushing right now. I think that they're simply doing what they're doing so that they can create that division amongst the people, and they don't care what happens right now because now we've just put them in a position to where they have to clean it up years from now. Again, just my opinion, that math adds up. To get back on topic, man, MikeRock Garland was supposed to hand over these audio tapes, and he's claiming, if you don't already know, that the president claimed executive privilege so he doesn't have to share that information with the rest of the public. But by law, because we're dealing with the law, he waived executive privilege when the written translation of that audio tape was released. The House GOP has also said that the Democrats have been caught altering evidence, altering information, altering the written transcript. And so they need access to the audio tape by law to make sure that the information in the written manuscript or transcript is accurate, and just how accurate it is. They've also said that it's the tone in those audio conversations that they need access to for whatever the reason is. The point is, regardless of the reason, by law, they are entitled to that information. And the reason why I keep saying by law is because if you remember when Trump was convicted recently in New York, Biden came out and the first thing he said was, nobody is above the law. So if we, by law, are entitled to that information, you are choosing to break the law to protect yourself. Joe Biden, Bin Laden, you are not above the law. And it's time for the people to come together, unite, and say that out loud. Stop lying to us. Stop manipulating us. We want the transparency. We can handle the transparency. We're big boys. Anyways, I'm going to get up out of here. I think this is the first in a long line of consequences that are about to start happening to the Party. We've got the debate coming up. I believe that Trump got himself into some hot water because the Democratic Party is in complete control of how that debate goes. And it's going to be very interesting it's not only going to be interesting to see how he handles this debate, but I'm actually really looking forward to seeing him win the presidency once again and just watching the fireworks happen as soon as he gets into office. These people have a lot to answer for, and it isn't just going to be Trump. It's going to be everybody that stood by his side and is ready to spend the next 4 years cleaning all of this stuff up. I've got my popcorn ready. Anyways, man, tell me what you guys think, man. Leave a comment leave your feedback in the comment section. Let me know what you think, man. I will promise to respond to as much of it as I can. I can't always get to all of it. I have a lot going on, but I do appreciate you guys being here. Thank you for the conversation and thank you for your time. We will see you guys again in the next video. Peace.